Hello all, another video for you on Arch Linux and Xfce once again, and more Gnome integration into your Xfce desktop if you wish to do so. This time it's going to address what some people express with Xfce is the out-of-box experience in terms of notably the volume settings and the control and a few other things. A couple of notes to mention is if you're going to do this, it'll probably be best to install Google Chrome, either stable or developer version, and set that as your default browser. And that'll become obvious as we move through this video. So I've made some notes, which I'll pull up, and there's just GNOME stuff, obviously. We have to install from the Pacman repositories. So here it is here. We need volume wheel, GNOME Control Center, GNOME file system, virtual file system, GOA, the Google file system, the contacts, documents, empathy, and telepathy. That should get you pretty much set up. But there are a few things we have to do. As you can see in the notes, we have to create some desktop entries. So, as usual, I make these notes just to save time, so you can just take this. I'll upload these to more than likely GitHub, so you can just copy and paste like this. And just the defaults seem to be fine on my system and through VirtualBox as well. Okay, once it's finished installing and you're back to the prompt terminal, just close it and go to your wherever your settings are, and go to Session and Startup, and Application Autostart. You can see there's a whole bunch of new things added. The tracker for metadata. However, we have to add one entry, give it a name such as volume, and the command is what we installed, vol, W-H-E-E-L, vol wheel. Press OK, and we'll close that, and I'll do a quick restart. Okay, so after restarting, you see here at the bottom right, at the very beginning, this is doesn't look happy, does it? That's the volume wheel. You just right-click on it and Preferences, and we're going to change the default channel to Master. And the default mixer is GNOME -control -center, and then a space sound. And under the mini mixer, we're just going to remove the PCM, remove, and then that should be good enough. And I'll zoom out and save. Give that a second. There it is. So now we click mixer. Give it a second. We have the GNOME audio mixer with the speaker test of front left, front right, and so on. However, in VirtualBox, or maybe on your system, also might not be unmuted, so just run also mixer and press F6, and whatever your default sound card, in this case it's an Intel BIOS setting for VirtualBox. Press M to unmute master, and press 9, for example, to bring up the volume. Same idea with the next one. And you do PCM 9 and surround 9, for example. And close your terminal, and we'll go back to our mixer settings. And you can do a speaker test. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but
front, left, front, right.
Okay, so I just thought that was a graphical way of testing your speakers, and you have your other devices for input and applications and sound effects and so on. Okay, so that's the first GNOME integration thing that I find useful. Now for other, you see there's Office, that's a PDF events, I think it's called, and Internet, you see Empathy is now installed along with Google Chrome, of course. And what you have to do is I made a document so to make it easier, you just open your home folder and go whatever you're using for a file manager in the address bar. Just type in .local, press enter, and we'll go to share applications. Okay, and we want to have the documents, GNOME documents, as a separate desktop entry. So this one seemed to work. So first of all, we'll just name it as this. So I'll copy, and then we'll go back to our virtual machine, a new document, and for the name, paste that in and create. Now I'll open this, I'll highlight all this here. It's desktop down to right here. Oop, don't want to miss that last semicolon. Okay, and Control C. Go back to this and open with whatever editor. I use LeafPad, and we'll just paste that in. Save. Control S to save, and close it. The document. So that's our document. So we go back to our Start menu, Office. Now we have documents. Those are GNOME documents in your Start menu from your personal folder. And the same idea for the online accounts. And we're going to save it as online desktop. So copy and create new file, paste that in with Control V, open with your text editor, go back, and again just select this desktop entry from here, and right down to the bottom where it says startup notify equals false. So just copy that again and go back to our document, paste, save, and close. And I set that so it would be a network. So internet, online accounts. There you go. Give it a second. Add an online account. I don't know why. I think it's something to do with Chrome, or maybe not. Yeah. The Google account in VirtualBox doesn't seem to be working because a Chrome driver doesn't function in VirtualBox. However, the other ones seem to work. Facebook, Microsoft accounts. You have other. You have Last.fm. Other. You have IMAP, SMTP for mail, and so on. Another unintended thing was that it has the actual searching and indexing somewhere in here. Desktop search. Seems to work. I don't have any documents, so let's just create something here. So I'll go to our file manager. And the same thing for searching. You can, the actual service, you can edit the locations. And after restarting, it's found it. So you double click, and obviously there's nothing in there. Okay, and this is completely up to, there's a lot of things now in the Xfce applications folder. There's a searching, indexing. Now we have various settings, and settings here is actually the actual GNOME Control Center. Okay, now if you want, you can say open a terminal in here, and you can list out, I think it's GNOME-control-center.desktop. So you just copy that, GNOME Control Center Desktop to /.local share applications. Close that, and we'll go to our home folder again. Go back to that .local share applications and GNOME Control Center. Look at that in LeafPad, and sometimes it has like only show in GNOME or something. And you can delete a lot of the other extra text if you want to. Yeah, it says only show in GNOME, so you can delete that because it's in your local directory. We're going to remove GNOME and keep GTK. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. So category system settings. There you go. There's your GNOME Control Center. Okay, so back to my desktop where I have this pretty much set up. You see there's Office, there's Documents. Sometimes it takes, there we go, pretty quick. These are Gnome documents. And depending on if it's, well, yeah, they're in there. So you just click on it, and there you go. You can browse the document. And this is neat too, I found, is there's my email address as a file system. That's the Google file system. And look at Google-Drive and my email. And again, it takes a little while to load. And depending on this one, if it's on Google Docs or just on the drive, it'll open in a web browser or text editor. So that opens in the text editor. Okay, I mean in the web browser. And this is why we install Google Chrome. Or Chromium might work the same way, is it opens up very quickly. In Firefox, it hangs for quite a while. And there's also, you can drag and drop. Let's open a new tab, Documents, and the documents I had was this. And it copies it to your Google Drive from your desktop. And that could take a while, of course. And there we go. And Xfce Gnome, there we go. That opens pretty much encrypted as a plain old text document in whatever your basic default editor is. And online accounts, so you can see Google's working, and you can add, as I explained before. Alright, so that should cover it. That's integrating some of the awesome Gnome features into Xfce. If you like that kind of thing. And as I mentioned earlier in videos, you can get Gnome Weather, and it works just fine. Okay, so that should do it for this one. Any questions or comments, feel free to add them as always. And thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. And bye for now.